So we're gonna get the draft started here. Pancake Sunrise gonna be on A side, Vaguely Insane gonna be B side, and Churnwalker is gonna be the first ban here.
Yeah, Turnwalker obviously extremely strong. Some people can win fights with Turnwalker by themselves, so it's definitely a captain that is definitely if teams don't like playing against it, they're definitely going to ban it away. The trespass can be extremely deadly, and it can be actually a pretty hard ability to block up.
Yep, we see Varya being banned from Vaguely Insane. Just, neither of these heroes the other team wants to let get through, which is not surprising. As Pancake Sunrise, do you think I would suggest them picking up a captain first as they pick up the Grace on A side because you don't really want to give away too much of your composition too early in the game, especially with this new double ban draft format.
Yeah, there's really no need. There's a lot of strong carries that you can kind of find yourself having a strong comp with. But the captains on the other hand, you can kind of put the other team maybe in a difficult place if you can take away enough strong captains. They pick up Grace here. Maybe they feel comfortable banning away. Maybe even an Arden if it doesn't get picked up on the team on the side of Team Vaguely. So it'll be interesting to see here if Vaguely does maybe put more focus on that carry pick, or if we see them first pick a captain. We are going
They
to see the
do
Lyra.
first pick a Lyra and ban away a Blackfeather, so two very strong lane picks taken away. And I do like Lyra into Grace. Her Bright Bulwark can stop the Benediction from diving onto a carry and possibly popping that Holy Nova combo that can be so devastating. So I would like to see Vaguely Insane um, with a frontline jungler, like a big heavy tank that can protect Lyra and allow her to do her heals from a distance and prevent the dive, as we see Taka being banned from Pancake. Pretty interesting. Taka's been banned a lot lately.
Yeah, it's definitely strong if a team is trying to go for a carry that's gonna be a little squishy. Maybe we see Pancake maybe looking at a Sky or there goes the Sky. Actually, that is a nice pickup on the side of Team Vaguely. But if we see Pancake maybe pick up a Ringo here, but into the Sky, they definitely gonna have to think about the carry. And we may see Weapon Power Sky in the lane, or it could be that Crystal Sky in the jungle.
Every time that I've casted this season and someone's picked up a Sky, we've immediately seen a Batiste to counter it, with varying degrees of success, I might add. But that Batiste with the Ordained, as they do pick up Ringo here, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get Batiste. He can zone out so well the Sky and just allow Ringo to just sit there and stack up Breaking Point, which is exactly what Ringo wants to do. He doesn't want to be made uncomfortable. He wants to make the other team uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely. Grace using those Holy Novas and definitely trying to keep Sky away from Ringo and being that front tanky line, eating those forward barrages if it's Crystal. It's definitely going to be crucial on the side of Pancake. They're definitely have to be able to focus on keeping that Ringo pick. So I really think this jungle should be another hero. Alpha.
Alpha.
Okay.
Interesting.
I mean, that's pretty tanky. I feel like it's a good option to also, dive in. But against that Lyra, and we'll have to see who they pick up here, either for their lane or jungler. We're still not quite sure. That alpha pickup is definitely interesting.
Yeah, the Bright Bulwark cancels out both A and B of Alpha, which are her two huge damage dealing abilities, especially because she's probably going to be played Crystal Power. As we get Rona, oh, that's going to be good into the Alpha here.
Oh,
Um, so we've got Grace, Ringo, Alpha versus Lyra, Sky, Rona. Who
I
who are
mean,
you feeling has won the draft on this?
seeing this Sky Rona combo, the Sky is going to be extremely strong late game. If it's Crystal in the jungle, this Rona, if it can, kind of snowball and be just as strong late game, that Rona Sky combo is extremely deadly.
Oh man, I'm leaning Vaguely Insane on this one. The only thing that just by the comps that I can see is that Ringo is pretty good into Rona. Rona needs to be close to her targets to be able to farm effectively, and Ringo with his Achilles shot and the twirling silver is able to keep pressure on Rona. So if Ringo could win the lane battle and just keep Rona very underfarmed, then I can see Pancake Sunrise winning this. But it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, I think it definitely will be a great matchup. We have two strong, healers from both sides. With the amount of healing we see coming out on both teams, I think we'll definitely see maybe a poison shiv, but a poison shiv hasn't always been that great of an item on the Rona. Definitely, if they go a Sorrow Blade, Serpent's Mask, Breaking Point, or even just Breaking Point, Serpent's Mask, it really can just depend on the Rona. But and then Ringo, we've been seeing those spell swords and the Tyrant's Monocles, not really a poison shiv on a Ringo build. So it'll be interesting to see if they try to get a poison shiv to maybe counter some of that healing.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost required versus Lyra because her heals are up so often compared to Grace, and they're much more impactful in fights, especially on these squishier carries. That I feel like Ringo might have to sacrifice some of that critical damage and go Spell Sword, Shiv, and then Monocle, or maybe even first item. But I mean, they could always flex it CP Ringo and have Alpha pick it up because on Weapon Power Alpha you do see that the Poison Shiv, but Weapon Alpha not really feeling that strong right now.
Yeah, we have seen it a little bit here and there. It was actually being played on the other stream, but I feel like in this situation, probably Crystal would be the best bet. Maybe be a little more, Alpha can that late game Crystal Alpha can be pretty deadly. It can, getting rebooted and having almost two lives in that termination protocol can be extremely deadly. Definitely, if you think, oh, I'm gonna have this chance to take down Alpha and maybe we'll be winning the fight, and then you see the reboot come through and you kind of like, oh dang it, now we have to re-kill the Alpha.
Right. Now the more I think about it, the more I like Weapon Power Alpha because the Bulwark can shut down Alpha's abilities pretty effectively. Um, and if you can just stay in the Bulwark and just chip away with your basic attacks, and especially because Rona is very sustain heavy and Alpha is very burst heavy when she's played Crystal, it might not be enough to have just the bursting Crystal power. So I don't know. I could see it going either way, and I'm very excited to see how this game pans out as we are loading onto the Halcyon Fold here, Endless.
Yeah, definitely see how this game ends up. But we are on the Halcyon Fold for game one of Pancakes versus Vaguely Insane. It's going to be a great matchup. We're going to see how teams start rotations, of course, if we're going to see maybe a little more aggressive rotation where teams try to definitely secure that Elder Treant or maybe start with the captain or the carry laner at their backs. It'll be interesting to see how the beginning of the game goes, especially if we see any type of aggression coming out of this alpha into the sky. And I don't know, jungle dominance right now. I don't really know if actually see Shell doing an interesting rotation here. I don't think he's going to want to go back that way.
Yeah, on Alpha especially, you want to play super safe until you hit level 6, which is the reboot ceiling. And once you get your reboot, you have 2 lives, and you can commit to fights way easier. So I'd almost like them to just not get this mid treant and then just play extremely safely. But if you can take it, then at level 6 with a snowballed alpha, you just become that much more powerful. As we see Vaguely Insane going to start this treant up, but it will go over to Shell, actually, as Isle of Ashley drops pretty low, and it's going to have to drop out. Cocoa Butter taking a lot of damage from the Alpha's B, and he's going to have to back off here. Still pretty healthy after popping his flask, but some good aggression out of Pancake Sunrise.
Yeah, Cocoa Butter still able to rotate back and make sure those backs are secured. Alpha not able to put on any more extra aggression to try to secure those and just going to rotate back to Alpha's own backs and continue farming up there. We are going to see both captains in the lane here to try to keep their laners nice and healed up. Lizard and Ashley, I love Ashley, are trying to just farm away and also get poked down. We do see minion candies on both minions. No, I think it's just red. It's kind of hard to tell. It is both.
It does look like both. Little Lazard here has to be pretty careful. He's already out of energy, and he's at about half health, so he's going to be forced to rotate down. As Ashley is still healthy, but the minion wave is pushed pretty hard. Lazar did a good job of that as they look to contest the second treant here as well, unless
Yeah, they're down a
uh,
member though.
Shell going
Oh,
pretty low. It goes over to Black Lotus with the sigil steal and forward barrage already chunking down a lot of health. But Cocoa Butter and Kimi will both port.
yeah, this is gonna be a good chance for Vayne and to try to push this aggression here with little Lozard being a little low here and maybe not being able to defend this turret. We're gonna have to see if a lot of damage actually goes on top.
Ooh, that's Ashley already doing a lot of burst damage, and especially with the harass from Black Lotus as Shell dives in here. Ashley just getting sustained up. Lazard's going to be forced behind his turret to continue to take this farm, but Alpha, what are you doing? You got to come help your team. As we see Cocoa Butter just taking some shots on Kimi. The Suri Strike will knock him down about half health, but he will pop the healing flask as Lane looks to be at about a standstill, but Sky definitely winning the early jungle war.
Yeah, we're seeing some aggression though. Right now, Alpha is getting popped into her reboot.
Yep, termination protocol not up yet for Alpha, so she's gonna have to take that shot, and oh my gosh, Ringo will fall. First blood to Vaguely Insane.
Yeah, definitely was trying to watch the scrimmage back and forth in the jungle. Missed. I love Ashley doing some work in the lane, pushing the turret up, but here comes the rotation.
Yep. We see actually Shell getting dropped here by I Love Ashley, barely popping the healing flask to keep Rona alive, and to 2-0 to Vaguely Insane early. It's not a lot monetarily in the bank, but it's got to be a lot towards the mental game.
Yeah, we see Black Lotus here buying that Crucible instead of the Fountain. It's been something we have seen in the past on these Lyra because that healing does scale with the Imperial Sigil. But that's going to be crucial for Black Lotus to have those Imperial Sigils on point even more because if he does miss a Sigil and the healing doesn't come through, the
Lazo
Fountain.
getting dove on a little bit, but he will be fine as Cocoa Butter spits out that forward barrage, won't find a target. Alpha is again nowhere to be seen. She is level 6, and that termination protocol is up. Um, and with an aftershock, this is a great time for Pancake Sunrise, excuse me, to push back. And as they do, I Love Ashley forced to jump away as Kimi taking a lot of damage from that forward barrage. And Vaguely Insane looks like they're totally in control of this lane. They've got it pushed. Lazard taking some damage. Kimi is so low, but he's got the reboot available. Cocoa Butter just doing so much damage already with the forward barrage without even a tier 3 item in his inventory.
Yeah, like I was, we don't even have that fountain yet on Shell though. So these team fights are pretty even, and you could say even the advantage Black Lotus with that Crucible. But nothing really major to stun out. But the aggression on the turret is coming through.
Oh my gosh, the turret's going so low. Death from above will drop on it. Ashley dives on Lazard. Lazard gets chunked super low. As the first turret falls to Vaguely Insane, that was a really, really good push. Kimi is gonna. Will he take the turret? Or the tree? And excuse me, he will not. Dangerous, dangerous play for a low health alpha. And his positioning hasn't been the greatest so far in this first 6 minutes, I feel like, on this. And the jungler is such a playmaker, and especially alpha, that Kimi's gonna need to maybe get his head in the game a little bit so that he can help Pancake get back in this.
Yeah, I mean, hitting those prime directives on top of Cocoa Butter are going to be really important. We already see another engage though.
Yeah, I Love Ashley. Red Mist is huge. That mortal wound almost taking down Kimi. He's got to be so careful. Black Lotus has no energy, so he can't provide healing to his team. But it doesn't matter. Death from Above gonna zone out Shell. He's gonna have to dodge away from that. And again, Pancake Sunrise are shoved underneath their own turret. I Love Ashley has more than a 20 CS lead over Lazard already at the 7-minute mark. Kimi's got a bit CS advantage over Cocoa Butter, but it's only because he's been staying in his jungle more than helping his laner, and I think that might come back to hurt him in the end.
Yeah, Lazar just keeps getting jumped on over and over, but Ashley definitely is feeling the pressure, feeling like I can't step too far forward to try to get a minion just because I'm afraid of being jumped on. So the rest of these team fights, we're going to see Lazar try to stay in a safe position. Fountains are coming through. Shell has completed. Black Lotus almost completed that. So we'll see power spikes coming through. Actually, Black Lotus level 5. Shell is level 6. That is actually really, really important. Definitely Shell's going to be able to use that divine intervention to maybe get some extra heals on top of Lazard or even Kimi if that during that reboot. But I mean, I think if Cocoa Butter keeps avoiding Kimi, I think Cocoa Butter is going to be doing a lot of damage with the items that Sky has already.
Yep, absolutely. As you mentioned, Shell has been down in the jungle more, so she's got a bit more experience in the bank. As we see, Black Lotus gets a portal. Ashley will jump on. They were contesting the Kraken, or Goldmine, excuse me. Ashley getting jumped on for popping the healing flask and the fountain for Black Lotus. But Kimi gets popped into reboot. He will barely survive, but it won't be enough. Lazard not doing enough damage. The portal bulwark comes onto Lazard. He's getting so low and that huge 400 burst damage as Shell, the last member alive for Pancake Sunrise. The I Love Ashley doing so much damage. Crystal Sentry doing the best he can, but it won't be enough. Shell will fall here, and probably a Crystal Sentry too. It was a messy team fight, but I think it was well worth it for Pancake Sunrise for Vaguely Insane. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think they're gonna rotate back, try to get the gold miner here. They kind of baited it, but we see King. He's back already. We're gonna see. I don't really think they should contest this. They could just re-die if they don't pick it up. Actually, the
Oh,
Ringo with
Ringo
the
steals it with the
Hellfire
Hellfire.
brew.
Ashley will not die. Oh my gosh, that Serpent Mask doing so much as a
Scout
Lazard.
trap.
Oh,
Scout trap from
somebody call
Shell.
Cloud9. We've got 50 bomb traps on the fold. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we saw I Love Ashley, thought it was gonna be sneaky and jump over that back wall by the gold miner, but there was a scout trap from Shell, and it unfortunately ended Ashley's life there. So that was pretty cheeky play by Shell there.
Yeah, it was a very lucky play. Oh wow. Lazard still doesn't have a tier 2 item or a second tier 3 item in his inventory, while Ashley already has a Serpent Mask breaking point plus some defense. So with that, he's still got a pretty sizable CS lead as he looks to be pretty aggressive in this jungle. Vaguely Insane has vision all on their side of the gold mine pit, as we see two members of Pancake trying to port, I should say. Vaguely Insane just looks so in control of this game so far.
Yeah, actually, we're going to see an engage. I think Ringo's going to stay healthy though. But the interesting thing I want to say real quick before we see an engage is Shell with that Shiver Steel. Very interesting. Possibly going to see Shell using that on top of I Love Ashley to try to keep him away from that Ringo.
Yep, as Ashley wants blood, Lazard pops his healing flask. Ashley goes super low. Hellfire Brew gets popped. It will land on Ashley, but the fortified health can keep him alive for now. Kimi diving onto Cocoa Butter, doing a fair bit of damage, but so does Shell. Shell uses the Shiver Steel to keep Cocoa Butter close, actually, as Fountain gets popped for Pancake. Black Lotus taking a lot of damage, and he will go down to the alpha dive from that big Kingdom Hearts key there, as Cocoa Butter just able to get away here, minimize the losses as looking vaguely insane, getting a little cheeky with their scout mines now.
Yeah, I mean, Cocoa Butter, I feel like the reason why that fight went such in the advantage of Pancake was the fact that Cocoa was way too far forward. We saw Lazar was able to put a lot of damage. Actually, we're going to see some more. Nah, I think Ashley decides not to mess with that. But Cocoa Butter was far forward. We saw a three-man prime directive from King Kimi putting so much damage down and actually be able to chunk down not only Cocoa Butter but Ashley as well. So we'll see if Cocoa Butter can stay out of that close
Ooh,
quarter
nice
fights.
bully Nova stuns up Ashley even as he jumps away. But Lyra will heal him up right quick. But the lane is still so far shoved as Cocoa Butter doing some damage with the forward barrage. Here comes Hellfire Brew. Ashley diving onto the turret. Red Mist. Little Lazar gets so low, he gets healed up with Divine Intervention, but Rona falls here. Interesting, as Shell just no fear, just fight. Cocoa Butter gets absolutely melted. Black Lotus, the last one alive, and Kimi will finish him off with a key smash, and that's probably going to be a gold mine and a turret here for Pancake Sunrise.
Again, Shell and Kimi, they're just diving in over and over. The fact that Ashley actually fell first is not a good sign. That Rona needs to be as tanky and lasting as long as possible in these team fights. We are seeing a little aggression there, but Ringo's going to rotate down. Ashley does have a good amount of defense, has that Serpent's Mac and breaking point. But I don't know. Ashley got definitely chunked down in that last team fight.
Yeah, and Ashley might get punished again for being a bit too aggressive. But he doesn't know that Lazar's right there. He might be going way too far forward. As now he backs off, waiting for his team. Smart move there by Ashley.
Yeah, meanwhile, minions are pushed on that turret, doing tons of damage. That was a full health turret. The minions decide to push it, and not going to be able to take it, but that's a good amount of minions lost for Ashley and a good amount of damage done on that turret. That could make the next siege from Pancake a little easier.
Yeah, that turret going down about a third, up to a third health, as we see Vaguely Insane prepping for a jungle invade possibly, as we see more vision being prioritized for Black Lotus, which is good. You want to see where the enemy is, especially since they're trying to dive onto you. And Alpha doesn't like getting dove on top of, as we see Ashley doing right now, or not gonna pull the trigger quite yet. But Pancake, they're 2,000 gold up, but they're not pulling the trigger yet on these engages. They're respecting Ashley's damage potential as this Rona and Cocoa Butter's just kite ability as they go take the sentry.
Yeah, again, Cocoa Butter has no defense here. So if Cocoa Butter is getting a prime directive landed, that Alpha is going to do a lot of damage. We see a breaking point does come out of Lazard. So instead of maybe a double tyrants like sometimes we see, definitely going to go for maybe a more elongated team fights. And if they can last in a team fight, that Ringo could be doing a lot of damage. And if Ringo can kite out Rona, I think Vane or Pancake is actually sitting in a pretty solid place.
Yep, the dive the sky strat, as we're gonna see with this Shiver Steel plus the slow from Prime Directive. But Cocoa Butter doing a good job here, staying behind his front line, where he can just build up stacks of his Dragon Eye, and especially with the Eve, the lifesteal is going to keep him healthy. As we see Ashley being forced to jump out, Lazard already at half health. That's a lot of damage, and the Surrey Strike doing huge amounts as Black Lotus will eat Hellfire Brew there. Kraken is on the board, so you think that Pancake would be a little more aggressive now that they know that they can win team fights here.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to see them continue to push the turret, though. I think they're going to try to get this turret down.
Yep, Ashley, Red Mist, spin to win, take that turret. But here comes a pushback from Pancake. Atlas will land onto all three members, actually. That's a huge Atlas. Divine Intervention will heal him up. He's kiting, but Ashley, too much damage. The huge Surrey Strike. Kinkini misses the Prime Directive, and he's going to get knocked out of Reboot. That's a double kill. Oh, gosh, Shell is pushed way so far. But that risky juke, I would have liked Shell to just go back in base where it's safe, but maybe looking to stall out. But no, that's going to be an ace for Vaguely Insane, and that's going to be a Kraken. Things are looking not so good for Pancake Sunrise, Endless.
Yeah, I definitely think Shell tried to avoid the ace and prolong the respawn or be able to get Lazard back, but the Kraken's gonna go on the side of Vaguely Insane here, and that's gonna be a huge push out of them. We're gonna
All
see
right.
maybe another tier 3 item. The Shiver still does come through on I Love Ashley.
Yep, Kraken gets captured by Vaguely Insane, and they've recaptured their gold lead by about 2,000. So they're looking to just push through the base, especially with the choke point turret gone. Use that Shiver Steel on Rona to keep Ringo close and just burst him down so they can deal with the more tanky Alpha. As we see Cocoa Butter stacking up, he drops Death from above, but it will be blocked out. Kraken at 3/4 health. Here comes the dive. I Love Ashley. Gonna back out for now. as Kimi's already forced to reboot just to do some Kraken damage, but oh, that's gonna be so risky as he's already down to one life. Cocoa Butter already at full Dragon Eye stacks as the first turret falls. Kraken is pretty low, but he might get another one. King Kimi so low, he gets Divine Intervention healed up. He misses the Prime Directive again, and he will fall. Lazard trying desperately to kite away. The huge damage from the fully stacked Cocoa Butter is not going to be enough.
Yeah, it
Kraken's
doesn't
still
matter.
healthy. Oh no, this looks like a game one going to Vaguely Insane. Oh wow, what a turn of events.
Yeah, we saw a moment that Vaguely Insane was almost throwing. They had a couple team fights that went the way of Pancakes, and they went back to their win rate. Coco definitely stayed safe. Ashley was got to basically that build that Rona needed to pretty much dominate Lozard and King Kimi, and did a pretty decent job about playing into their win conditions. So GG to both teams.
Yep, GG indeed. And what I think went wrong there for Pancake was the alpha play. Um, a bunch of prime directives were missed, especially in those last couple team fights, and Sky had no defense. So Grace dives, Alpha dives, used that Shiver Steel that Shell picked up, which was a really smart item pickup, and then boom, Sky's dead. And with that Dragon's Eye, that was going to be the main source of damage that Vaguely Insane had. And so if you can knock that off the table, it's easy pickings for Rona here as game number 2 gonna be underway very shortly.
Yeah, we will get the draft client back up and running. Will be interesting to see what changes for game number 2. See what players try to focus again, if they go with the similar comps or look for something completely different in game 2.
Yep. Hopefully, I want to see Pancake try something different. We saw the alpha didn't really work for for Pancake this game, so maybe if they can pick a different jungler, maybe something along the lines of like a Rhyme or even Reza, Sky, something that's stronger than an alpha, maybe something that can is more of a comfort pick for Pancake's jungler.
Yeah, if we can see maybe Pancake try to get on, not that the Ringo is bad. I just feel like in that situation, like a Black Feather would have been nice. Obviously, it was banned away, but maybe they can get on a different laner that they're comfortable with as well. Try to change it up a little bit. But the Rona Black Feather are just super strong, so I definitely think one of them will end up on one of the teams.
Yep, hopefully Rona Blackfeather does not get through the draft here. But we're seeing just standard Vainglory being played here. And what I think can win games for a team that's down maybe physically or mentally with a skill gap, or they're just not in the game, is just trying something new. That's the number one thing that I've tried to preach to my team, especially because we're not the greatest mechanically, I will admit. But some stuff that is different that we can pull out can really make the difference in our team fights. Because everyone knows how to play against Orona. Everyone knows how to play against the comps that we just saw in this game. But if you pull out something crazy, then it puts your enemies on the back foot, and that's exactly where you want to be heading into these next games.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into draft here, and we'll have to see what the teams are looking for, and see if they do try to go for something maybe a little different, maybe a little unorthodox.
Yep, Vaguely Insane is going to be on A side this game. Pancake Sunrise on B side, and there's the Varya ban. Same first ban Vaguely Insane did last game. Really not wanting that hero to get through. Nobody wanting that hero to get through.
Yeah, I would really probably either see a Taka ban here, or maybe a Churn Walker, just because I don't think there's any really major need to be banning away a carry at this point. There's a lot of captains you could probably take off the board, and there's a Churn Walker definitely makes sense.
Yep, Varya Churnwalker, two most broken heroes in this patch. hopefully that'll get fixed soon as a 5v5 is looming on the horizon. But for now, we've got 3v3 Vainglory here as a vaguely insane taking their time on this pick. Not A side is always risky because your first pick can give away a lot about your strategy, but we're seeing just a bit of a stall here, deliberating, and there's the Black Feather, extremely flexible pick.
Yeah, right now it's not giving away too much. Crystal Blackfeather still can be extremely strong in the jungle, even with the weapon power Blackfeather in the lane. So we'll have to see. I would like to see maybe a Grace pickup here. I guess an Arden could work as well, and even ban away the other they don't pick to try to put vaguely in a difficult place. But the Lyra it would still be out there from the play. So we'll have to see what Pancake is feeling, and if they have a strong laner that they feel like can counter a Blackfeather, that they can just maybe carry on. That Pancake will try to focus and pick that up.
Yep. Into a Black Feather, other melee heroes work pretty well. As we see, Shell gonna go back on his Grace here as Rona gets banned. Not wanting Vaguely Insane to pick that one up, but going back to my lane here, other melee heroes do pretty good into Black Feather, not allowing him to just poke away freely and keeping the harass up, but also other hypermobile carries, kind of like Vox, can do a lot, some pretty good damage into Black Feather. As the Vaguely Insane goes into bonus time again with their second ban, as it will be Alpha, not
Out.
wanting Pancake to take their jungler.
So they did feel maybe a little pressure in the heat from the alpha. I don't know if it's necessary to ban it, but maybe they just felt like let's just ban that away. And if maybe that's what King Kimi is really strong on, and let's try to put him maybe on a different hero in the jungle. But lane wise, I mean, I don't really see a Ringo being that strong in this situation. But I
Hmm.
don't know if you just because if you go Ringo again, the Ringo struggled last game trying to kite away and stay safe with a Black Feather. That could just be even more annoying and painful. They're gonna go with the Ringo. Maybe they just feel that's their best option in this situation.
Yeah, Ringo, pretty safe. A very meta laner. A whole draft is looking very meta. As Arden, Blackfeather Arden, the infamous combo since forever, as well
Taka,
as
oh
Taka.
god,
Oh man,
that's gonna be pretty rough. The fact that Ringo already is going to have problems running away from a Rose offensive Black Feather, let alone a Taka that can box and X Retsu and do everything else under the sun just to jump the Ringo over and over. The Fortress is a nice pickup, though. They do end that there. That'll definitely help with the Wolves. The attack from the pack can be helpful, and it could lead to some good aggression on the side of Pancake.
yeah, you thought Vaguely Insane brought the dive last game. They are bringing it. It's doubly in this game with the Taka and the Rose offensive, as well as the Arden, enabling that dive. And as we get the second game started here, I'm thinking Vaguely Insane again.
Yeah, I mean, Pancake could have ran a pedal there in that situation because obviously you see that Taka and a crystal pedal can be extremely strong. The amount of heal from spontaneous combustions, especially if you run a I Love Joseph pedal where you just build shatter glasses pretty much over and over.
Hmm.
But I mean, the fortress maybe will be able to do enough damage and but I do think vaguely insane has a very strong comp and very dive heavy. We'll have to see if that Grace and the Fortress will be able to offer enough peel for that Ringo.
Yeah, Ringo seemed to struggle with the dive in the first game, but if he can manage it, against this huge dive comp, then I think he'll be fine. Because CP Fortress is going to do a decent amount of damage, especially with the blood comp. And if Ringo can keep his range up, not being too afraid of the Taka, and Vision by Shell is going to have to be super on point. But I could see Pancake Sunrise taking this to a game three.
All right, so we are hopping on the full for game two of Pancake Sunrise versus Vaguely Insane. Vaguely is looking to close this out 2-0, while Pancake is trying to extend this series into a best of three. We will have to see how this game ends up. We are definitely excited to have this game too.
Yep, Kimi not actually opting for the Dragon Blood contract. The standard I Love Joseph Fortress build, instead going for a Oak and a Crystal Bit. Maybe he's getting that the Storm Banner after his first rotation here, as Cocoa Butter gets his two weapon blades to help him with farm, as well as Ashley picking up that early Book of Eulogies. As we see both carries, sticking to the meta, staying back, getting their level twos. But Arden may be looking to push this lane a little bit here, Endless.
Yeah, Shell's trying to steal some frontier and be a little sneaky. I don't know if they're going to come through. One will come through, and the second one will come through as well. But I think the aggression from Vayne right now are going to be maybe a little too much for Pancake. They're starting up Elder Treant. Looks like Pancake's going to probably rotate out of that.
Yeah, already a lot of burst damage on Shell. That's a little bit scary if you're sitting at level 1, level 2 here, and you're already getting shot down to half health with just one combo. That you know the mental game is just as hard as the physical game, especially in Vainglory, which is it's a long and grueling 20-30 minute contest. And especially if you're Pancake right now, you just gotta stay tough mentally, as we see Lazar doing a little bit of harass and just get yourself back into the game mentally and physically.
Yeah, definitely going to be stay focused on what they need to do, stay within their one conditions. Ringo need to be able to buy maybe tier three boots immediately so he can just always be running away from Ashley and Coco. But that could be a difficult situation. We do see a little engage here though. Just teams trading, maybe a little engage in the jungle as well over this Elder Treant.
Yeah, we see Cocoa Butter where his long cooldowns looking to hurt him. Shell comes down, the flare will spot him and the benediction lands, but Cocoa Butter might get away safely here as Arden comes down with a Vanguard available.
Yeah, we're gonna see them actually pull the Elder Treant away here, but it looks like Taka definitely is aware of this and gonna try to jump in, and Taka definitely just took
Oh
that away.
no, Cocoa Butter, you sneaky man. Lazar gets jumped on, pops his flask, but he will drop first. Shell gets a good stun off, but looks like Keeney might fall here. Yep, he will. As Cocoa Butter, oh, so close, but that spinning somersault will finish off the noble paladin, as we see 3-0 already on the side of Vaguely Insane.
Yeah, here we go with Vaguely Insane, starting this counter juggling. If this Taka starts taking away these backs from the fortress, gets maybe a little ahead, they are going to go ahead and decide to back out and get what they took, and not try to risk it too much because a full team of Pancake had rotated. But Ashley, meanwhile, has pushed lane. We're going to have to see Ringo try to get the farm and stay healthy is the main thing, as long as Ashley does not dive.
Yep, and as Ashley will actually get dove upon, that
Oh no.
huge, oh no, the barrier from on point, no fear, he will fall, but Lazar's got to respect that a little bit. The barrier from on point was so close actually to getting him, as Black Lotus gonna have to be a little careful here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if Vaguely continues with Cocoa Butter, obviously I would say is definitely the player to watch. But I love Ashley. Sitting level 4 right now. Once we see those, the level 6 power spike come through, the Rose offensive, that's when the mobility and the dive ability is going to be huge. On top of the Ringo, Fountain. Currently, Shell sitting relatively close. Black Lotus has not shopped yet. So once the shopping comes through and we see fountains, we'll have to see if teams decide to maybe try to force a team fight if someone has a fountain advantage.
Yep, Cocoa Butter hasn't shopped either, so especially because Kimi and Lazard both have shopped. So if Pancake wants to force a fight, it would be right now. Except Coco's picked up an aftershock, and so he will get spotted out here, as he's already doing a lot of damage. But Retsu will cut through Kimi. Kimi already almost dead. Is having to pop the flask, and the packmate's perk will allow him to run away. But Cocoa Butter healthy again, and Ashley looking to dive on Lazard here. Takes a couple turret shots to the face, and oh, here comes the Retsu. Cocoa Butter's out of energy though. How far can he dive under turret? Fountain gets popped for him as here comes the Hellfire Brew, but Vanguard will slow that up. Ashley wanting it, he dives in and Arden steals his kill. Oh no, 4-1 already for Vaguely Insane.
I think Ashley's taken maybe 6 or 7 turret shots already, this game. Definitely playing really aggressive, trying to keep the pressure on top of, the Ringo to make sure Ringo maybe misses some farms here and there. 41-48, Ringo's not too far behind when it comes to CS, but, the Taka, that level 6 was huge, able to dive in, but lost, the energy, wasn't able to finish it out.
Yep, we see Ashley in a port here. Already picked up some good itemization. A bit ahead of Lazard, especially because he's got that little bit of armor, as Lazard does not. And Kimi still hasn't finished an item. He really needs to do that, especially at the 6-minute mark, where people are going to start getting ults. They're going to start hitting those level 8 power spikes pretty soon. As opting to go home instead of using the jungle shop, as Aftershock does get picked up here. It looks like he's going to build toward an Aegis next item.
Yeah, we see both fountains up, so the next team fight we will have those ready. Kimi just picked up that aftershock, so that's the first power spike for the fortress. That'll definitely help in these team fights, and I think we're going to see these teams setting up for another one.
Yep. Cocoa Butter getting spotted out. The hammer gets dropped. Shell getting bursted down a lot. Stunned by the gauntlet. Fountain will keep him alive for now, as Kimi wants more. He's diving in, but Cocoa Butter, a huge Retsu, will make sure Shell stays away. The Divine Intervention is available, as Ashley, so low, but Fortress will take him down. Lazard back to full health, and still spinning away that twirling silver. There's a huge minion wave looking to siege this turret, and Cocoa Butter gets spotted out. Retsu's down, pops the flask, and he's able to just stay harassing as that first turret falls.
Yeah, for sure. I think having Pancake pick up that turret is definitely a nice, gold in their pocket. Be able to maybe get the Ringo some next tier 3 items, get closer to that tier 3 item. As we see him probably going into another Tyrant's Monocle, it looks like he does have a Swift Shooter to go
Oh,
into.
Cocoa Butter stole away that treant.
Little cheeky tree and steal, but I think if we see Vayne actually rotate up here to do a
Oh
dive.
man, Ashley bit off more than he could chew there, but it is a 1-for-1 trade. So the Wolves will spot out Cocoa Butter, so he's going to have to back off here. Kimi doing a bit of damage, but that's a big cooldown for his A, and that's main damage here, as Cocoa Butter will dodge out of the Holy Nova, but he's so low. One more basic attack from Kimi, and there it is. Pancake, here's their mid-game surge that we saw last game. Kimi and Shell now starting to work as a team. Rotate through jungle together. Support Lazard together, and this is what we should have been seeing last game. And I'm excited for Pancake.
Yeah, I mean, if Lazard keeps pushing the turret like he is, you're going to force, Ashley and Black Lotus to maybe try to focus on that lane while it's pushed, and maybe have a chance to take a gold miner here that's full. I'm not sure if they're going to take the risk just because of Coco being so mobile and not having complete vision. I think Shell is definitely working there as a scout trap. So that will be extremely nice pickup for Shell to be able to keep vision down and keep tabs on that Taka, just because once they go into Coco goes into that, his box and is gone, it can return to a fight extremely easy. But we may see an engage here over the gold miner, or just maybe a little let's pop some scout traps and destroy some 50 gold back and forth.
Yep, we see just some poke wars going on here. No team, as you see a cheeky taunt and an Retsu. Kimi getting punished for that taunt. He gets stunned up by the gauntlet. Lazar goes so low. Cocoa Butter already bursting him down. The Retsu combo. He will have to stealth out. Pops the flask, and Oh no, Kimi bit off more than he could chew, as he's gonna have to dive way back as Shell, the last one alive again. But it won't be an ace, but that's still a triple kill for Vaguely Insane.
Yeah, I think Bagley should actually just take this Crystal Sentry. I think they're no, they're gonna back out because we see maybe Lazar would come down to help. I think they could have defeated that and start chunking that away. That way they could have a little more aggression in the jungle and kind of take control of it. But that was a good team fight for them. Overall, we saw they actually split there, and Coco pretty much handled Lazard up in the lane there when it came to that dive. But they are gonna possibly pick up this gold mine. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see a steal. We do not.
Yep, Black Feather able to pick that one up, and the incredible thing for that one was that Cocoa Butter basically did all of that damage himself with only a heavy prism, an aftershock, and a level 9 infusion. And he's got almost 3,000 gold in the bank, and he still hasn't shopped yet to buy a second item. And Fortress has an ace completed. There's a reflex block on Lazard. Shell's got contraption and a fountain. And so that much damage already on Taka has to be respected. And especially because Arden's picked up his Echo, so he's got two gauntlets. That's going to be even let Taka run free even more inside those two walls, which is looking pretty scary.
Yeah, I mean, Lazard's going to be able to block out possibly one gauntlet, but will that come through for the second? Or we'll see if Shell will be able to help that as well, because I think that's going to be huge. They're definitely probably just going to put their focus on top of Lazard, but we're going to see a little maybe turret push here. We see Coco just continuing to steal away the camps here and there, but I love Ashley is honestly doing a pretty good amount of damage with the build he has already.
Yep, the standard lifesteal build as he blocks out with the Rose Offensive. Lazard getting Divine Interventioned up, but it won't matter. Ashley will jump on top of him, popping the flask with the Vanguard. He gets stunned up by Shell. Here comes the second gauntlet. That's going to trap Pancake in. The Atlas will fall as, oh my gosh, Ashley going so low. He's going to get the Fortified Health from On Point as Shell gets dove on with the X-Retsu combo, but he's on cooldown still. Shell and Ashley both so low. Here comes Kimi with the dive, and he will take out Ashley, but he was gonna get punished for it, zoning Holy Nova there as Kimi and now healthy Lazard gonna start to maybe take down Coco, but no, Kimi will get knocked down by Arden actually. Black Lotus, the kill stealer, as Cocoa Butter is so low, but he will get finished off and shut down. Lazard with a double kill. That's going to be an ace and a gold miner here for Pancake Sunrise.
Yeah, unfortunately, we saw Vayne not realize that Lazard was going to be back up relatively quickly. They were still diving in between turret one and turret two. They were trying to balance the aggro in between. They were really low, and then as soon as Lazard showed up, Kimi was able to dive in, and even though Kimi did drop, we saw the Ringo and Shell, or Lazard and Shell, be able to clean that up and honestly take gold mine, take a few camps, and actually take a good amount of gold and try to start chipping away at that gold lead and come back. So that was definitely, a patient fight for Pancake. It may have not gone the way they wanted it in the beginning, but luckily they kind of made the best of it towards the end because we don't even see a turret fall on their side.
Yeah, it was pretty smart for them to wait that long, and lucky for them the respawns aren't long enough that Lazard would see another engage. Cocoa Butter jumping on Lazard as the Hellfire Brew will land onto him, but that's going to be the end of that engage. Nothing too crazy going on.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, I'm still kind of surprised that Vayne hasn't put more emphasis on trying to push and to get that first turret. I mean, I feel like they are having advantage. They have the gold lead currently, they have the kill lead, but I don't have that first turret down. I feel like that first turret being down could help them have more control throughout the jungle. And just the vision from Shell right now is huge. The Arden obviously is not too focused on vision right now. Buying some flares, hopefully gonna be able to rotate through and clear out some of this vision because right now Coco really can't move without being spotted out.
Yep,
Oh, that
which is
Ringo.
oh man, Ashley with the great on point. Not letting Lazard port away as he will get away now. Refresh his infusion. Um As we see Black Lotus clearing out a bunch of vision, Kimi's got his Attack of the Pack. Lazard's got his Hellfire Brew up as here comes another engage. But Black Lotus with that, the Vanguard is such a good disengage tool that Vaguely Insane doesn't want to commit to a fight.
Yeah, if we're actually going to see Cocoa Butter rotate up right now, we're going to probably see the dive come through once the teams do reset, and we have the team fight right now.
Here we go. The Attack of the Pack gets popped out. I love Ashley diving so deep under turret, but there goes a huge gauntlet. Ringo gets bursted down. Fountain has to get popped, and here comes the second gauntlet. It stuns up Shell, not going to be able to get close enough for the healing. And that's the two carries getting instantly deleted again for Pancake. Shell, the only remaining survivor, as they're looking to take this Kraken, actually, not wanting to push that third turret and just letting... here comes Shell. He's spotted it out, calling it out for his team. So when Lazard's up in 4 seconds, he can maybe hustle down there and contest, but this looks like a vaguely insane Kraken.
I mean, I feel like if they did try to take turret, they probably wouldn't have been able to rotate, quick enough to maybe take Kraken. So I think they feel that with the Kraken, they'll definitely get the first turret, maybe even the second if they push it right. So, I mean, they would have been able to definitely got the turret, but I think it was overall a good call to get the Kraken.
Yep, the minion wave is pretty far pushed in Vaguely Insane's lane here. As we see Lazard starting on the Kraken, this could be bad for Vaguely Insane in the end, because killing Kraken is a 500 gold bounty to each player, and that first turret is only 200 gold to Vaguely Insane. So this might be a net loss for them, even though they got the Kraken, they got a turret. But if we can see Lazard and Kimi really dive and focus a single target instead of splitting, then we can get a lot stronger team fights. As we see the infusion's almost running out, so now is the time to fight. As we see Ashley and Cocoa Butter looking to siege the turret a little bit.
Yeah,
As here comes the gauntlet. It's going to get blocked out, and Divine Intervention will heal up Kimi a little bit, but he's just retreating, not wanting to commit yet.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the last push, they actually had to rotate to get the minions, and it was away from the Kraken way too long. So they couldn't form a good siege on the turrets with the Kraken. They got the one. They unfortunately felt like they had to back out of the second push, and the Ringo, Lazard just chunked down the Kraken so extremely fast. Was able to defend the turret. So I'll have to reset here. Probably wait for a Kraken respawn to have another chance to either get a good team fight. That way they can just take Kraken again and repush, or maybe even see Pancake here get their positioning down right and have Ringo hit every reflex needed. The tier 3 boots are there, which is huge. Able to run away when need be, because you see a Black Feather and Taka just diving on Lazard over and over in these team fights.
Yeah, something interesting is that Shell doesn't have a Crucible, so he's trusting his carries to be able to block themselves out of the gauntlets and block whatever abilities that they think are necessary. As we see Pancake playing extremely defensive here. They don't want to overcommit to a fight this late in the game, as Shell has some very good defensive vision, but it's extremely defensive. They're limited to their own jungle and what they can see, and depending on how aggressive Cocoa Butter is, they might not even have that.
Yeah, like you said, Shell's vision right now. There is plenty of scouts on the fold, trying to spot out the Taka. And we're just gonna wait and see the teams try to set up a dive here, and I think we'll just see a stall until Kraken reappears. It won't be long until it's back up. They actually are gonna make the call in the Crystal Sentry. We could see an engage.
Yep, here comes Attack of the Pack. The dive comes in. Atlas will land on a both carries, and Black Lotus going extremely low. He will pop War Treads, but here comes a Gauntlet. The Atlas gets popped on all 3 members of Pancake as well. That huge 800 heal, as Ashley gets Fountained and Gauntlet, or not Gauntlet, Vanguard. He won't die. Black Lotus and Coco get stunned up. Cocoa Butter going so low, but Kaku will save him for now. Arden, no, not Arden. Ashley, so low. The chase is now on. Kimi is diving in. Black Lotus will land his another Atlas, but it won't be enough. He will go down. Cocoa Butter, it's up to him now. He will get spotted out as the dive coming in from Kimi. Here comes Attack of the Pack. Oh, he dodges out of the Truth of the Tooth there, but Pancake know where he is, so there's not a whole lot he can do now. As he gets brought down, and that's a huge ace for Pancake. They're gonna take this crack at and maybe even a game three here, Endless.
Yeah, I think the Kraken push would have to be pretty flawless, but unfortunately, I think Vaguely may have just they got their job of killing the Ringo, but Lazard was able to stay alive long enough to do a lot of damage to allow Kimi to kind of clean up there, and with Shell and Kimi just diving over and over. And Shell's doing a decent amount of damage just to be able to, keep his team alive and keep the pressure on. That I think if they push this correctly, Lazard, he's doing a lot of damage on the Ringo. If he can kind of chunk out Ashley quick enough, along with Kimi, this could be we could be seeing a game three.
Yep, the first game three that I've casted, and it'll be exciting. This is a marathon series already. 21 minutes already on the clock as Vaguely Insane looking to defend this turret. Here comes a Hellfire Brew. It will get Vanguard blocked as we're seeing just a little bit of aggression. Here comes Kimi with Attack of the Pack and Truth of the Tooth. Cocoa Butter going dangerously low. He will get Vanguarded under turret. And Kraken at about half health, but here goes the second turret. Just gets melted over here. And that's going to be the end of the engage, I think, from Pancake. They're going to rotate off, take some jungle, take the Crystal Sentry, and they can be happy with that push.
Yeah, I think it was a smart. They probably could have, stayed, pushed a little more, possibly gotten the next turret, but let's just clear jungle and focus on other objectives. Let Shell focus on putting some farm down because you do know Vayne is distracted by Kraken and has to focus on taking that out. So that was a decent engage. They got the choke point turret knocked down. That way, the base is starting to be exposed. This next team fight is going to be huge. We are at the almost 23-minute mark. We'll probably be around the 25-minute mark during the next team fight. We are seeing a party bush right now, though. So this could be a big, bait here if Black Lotus falls to it, and he's not sure where they are. And I don't. Yep, they are going to do
Oh,
engage.
Black Lotus gets caught out here. Oh, the gauntlet won't land over the wall. The double gauntlet will, though. He's so low. That was a huge misplay from Vaguely Insane. As here comes Pancakes. Their griddle is hot and they're looking for some blood. Cocoa Butter getting bursted pretty hard here. Crystal Sentry not gonna even allowed to walk to his own mine here. As it's a 2v3 with the base cracked open. Oh man, this game's a marathon.
Yeah, unfortunately the Arden falling does not help vaguely just because they have to reset now and just defend. We're going to be seeing once the Kraken respawns again the pressure of are they taking it and having to check it. But we see Arden picking up maybe that I believe that is the last tier 3 item, a full build, and I'm kind of actually confused because I'm not seeing any room now for flares or scout traps on the side of Black Lotus.
Yeah, he's probably counting on the couple that he's got that it won't be popped, but you know, Kimi is pretty aggressive in popping these, same as Lazard, and Kraken is up now, so this is probably going to be the final fight. So maybe Black Lotus just feels like he doesn't need vision anymore. In as we are approaching 25 minutes, neither team wanting to pull the trigger, but here comes the Hellfire Brew, going to do a little bit of damage. Vaguely Insane. That's a very different team than we saw the first game. They're almost running scared now from this fiery dog. As we see the X-Retsu landing onto Lazard, he takes a bit of damage, but Ashley taking more. He gets Atlas and Fountain will keep him alive for now, but he will fall. Cocoa Butter gonna get stunned up. He's inside the gauntlet. Lazard doing a lot of damage. but he gets Divine Intervention healed. The Scout Trap will take down Black Lotus, and it's only Cocoa Butter. Looks like we're going to a game 3 here, Endless, if they can get this great Kraken push out of Pancake.
Yeah, if they pick up the ace here and finish off Coco, I hope they do not waste too many times trying to chase Coco down. It looks like the kill will come through. They will rotate now. Let's see. 55, 38, 26. It appears the attempt is going to be just to push the base. Not
Yep.
quite sure. I think they'll have the damage and the time to do it. They're going to bypass the minions here. Actually, looks like Lazar's going to try to push the wave with them. They still have 10 seconds now. Ashley will be up. That'll be a little bit of pressure, but I don't think it's going to be enough. We're going to see a huge amount of damage coming out of Lazar. There's so much damage. They're going to take down both turrets. They're going to switch over to the Vein Crystal here, and that is going to be GG. We have a game 3.
We have a game 3. Nothing Ashley can do about that one. Oh, wow. Pancake Sunrise is showing up this game. They did such a better job with the fortress rather than the alpha. It was a lot easier for Kimi to land his shots, to land his abilities and get that mortal wound down so that Lazar can just dive and do everything he needs to do to stay alive. And that was exactly what their win condition was, and they played it perfectly. Congrats to Shell and Pancake Sunrise as we're getting to game 3 here. And now, game 3, both teams are already exhausted. It's been about an hour already. Mentally and physically, both teams are drained. So you think they're just gonna stick through their draft, or are they're gonna try something new?
I think this is the time they try something new. Get a little crafty, maybe pull something out that you've worked on that has worked in the past. That you're like, you know what, let's see how this works. Just because, you don't want to just maybe fall into where you give vaguely the comp they ran first game that was extremely successful for them. Especially, I think the main thing here is getting Kimi on someone he can play well on and kind of control the jungle and actually how the team fights play out. So I think Pancake, while it was close and they kind of struggled throughout the game, I think they played into their late game extremely well. And that Blackfeather and Taka, I actually just don't really imagine them ever losing. But definitely props to Pancake for playing a great game to force a game 3.
Yeah, if I'm Kimi right now, I'm really looking to stick to the Fortress. It works really well, and especially because Fortress is a really good playmaker. Um, as we're gonna get ready for game 3 here, Fortress is probably what I would look to start countering on the side of Vaguely Insane. So if they can get some anti-dive heroes such as Batiste, such as Lyra, who can stop dives, that might be a really good thing for Vaguely Insane.
Yeah, so we will be getting into game 3 here. We have another round of draft, another great game for you. We will be um, the ending the night on a game 3. It's going to be pretty fun.
Yep, draft is starting very soon. We've got Pancake Sunrise back on A side. So A side is the side that you don't want to give anything away. As I've been saying all night, as I've been saying all season, that captains are usually a good first pick here on A side. But sometimes if you can, like we saw last game, the Black Feather being picked first, that it opened up a lot of options for their draft, and it's interesting to see which direction they will go this time.
Yeah, I think we are into draft. Either my client is not working. Have they already banned and picked? Does it already show that on yours?
Hold on, I'm loading in. Yep, I've got a bunch of stuff actually. We've got Churnwalker banned on Pancake, Varia banned for Vaguely, Blackfeather Lyra picks, banned Grace, and a banned Rona. So,
I think why I was so confused was this is all very similar. We've seen
uh-huh.
basically the same rotation. I was like, wait a minute, did I click an old draft link here? Because this is about everything the teams have been running the whole night.
Yeah, pardon my monologuing while the draft is. It looks like to be, the anti-dive coming from Vaguely, like that I was talking about with the Lyra. Bright Bulwark can stop the Rose offensive. It can stop the Faint of Heart dive, and the Rona ban is also huge because if you give that to Vaguely Insane inside the Bulwark, the Rona can just spin to win and not have to worry about those diving abilities that um, they're so worried about.
Yeah, I think we may see a Ringo here. Vaguely actually ran the Ringo yet. We'll see if that's something they're comfortable on. But I would really obviously like to see the Arden then picked up on the side of Pancake. There comes the Ringo. I would really like the Arden to come through now. Then the jungler side when it comes to they could Taka. They could just kind of mimic what Vaguely picked last game.
Yeah, hopefully they run something different this time. We see Ringo being picked up, for the third straight game. You think that for as a laner, he's pretty safe, but there are also a lot of other good laners that I would, you know, personally pick into Blackfeather that might be better, like this Baron. Oh wow, that's definitely something different.
That's what we're talking about. Maybe try to pull off something that you haven't played in a while that, is still decently good and that you play well. And that Baron is interesting pick. That's gonna flex that black feather into the jungle on Crystal. That's gonna be huge. I can expect an Arden pickup here to end out this draft. Maybe not because they're taking a long time here, maybe just discussing all their options, but an Arden pickup I feel is the safest.
If they pick up Finn here, I might just actually lose my mind.
Or Lorelei, Lorelei still I've still seen that, oh, Fortress. Okay.
Fortress.
The aggression. Let's just go. They actually probably counterpicked a Fortress there. And instead of
Hmm.
allowing, Vaguely to have that Crystal Fortress and cuz they obviously know that they could win with it since Pancake just did. They're like, "Let's run the Fortress and, maybe just take it away from Vaguely."
Yeah, I'd like to see someone kind of like maybe a Samuel or maybe a different mage who, because other than Fortress, who's not going to be doing a whole lot of damage as a captain, um, someone who can kite very well and that has a lot of damage on their side that can take down Baron before he starts to stack. As we get pretty far into this draft, um, and there's Ozo. Man, we've got a Baron, a Fortress, and an Ozo in this game.
Well, I'm not quite sure what to say right now. A Humanist is probably hype. We have an Ozo on the fold. We're gonna have some bouncy fun. This game is gonna be an intense and fun game three.
Oh man. Wow, I'm genuinely bewildered. I don't know who to pick here. As well, I do like the sustain from Ozo and Lyra that's gonna give, but I'm thinking the damage on Baron is just gonna be too great, and I don't think that they're gonna be nicely stacked together like Ozo wants them to be, so he can just bounce and bounce and bounce. So this is gonna be interesting as we get onto the fold here, unless.
Yeah, I think the Ozo is gonna be able to do a decent amount of burst damage. The Baron's definitely gonna be, jumping away, trying to stay away from, just getting that third bounce can offer so much burst. So it'll be interesting to see how it actually plays out. If the Lyra is gonna be able to do enough to keep that Ozo alive, and see if Vaguely can play this Ringo as well as Pancake did last game.
Yep, the Ozo hype flooding in chat here in game as we get ready here. Pancake Sunrise, vaguely insane. looks like we're all good on our end. So let's get into it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to be hyped for the Ozo, and I'm picking the Ozo to win.
Yeah, humanist wherever he is right now. He's feeling it in his heart. He's feeling the Ozo has been being played somewhere in the world as none other than Cocoa Butter is gonna pick this legendary hero.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see that and the Baron obviously are two off pick heroes here. So it'll be interesting to see how Lazard does on the Baron. If the burst will be too much for Ashley, and it's just gonna be a good game three. We are on the fold for game three of Pancakes versus Vaguely Insane.
Yep. Right. Loading onto this fold here. It's be interesting to see Shell on something other than Grace. Um, even when I've played with him a lot, he's really comfortable with Grace. It's a power pick for him, and Fortress is an entirely different animal. Pardon my puns. Than Grace. He's still got the heavy dive, but he's got the mortal wounds instead of a stun, and there's not a lot of healing here for Lazard and Kimi, so they're going to have to rely on themselves for that. As we see a pretty standard rotation, Cocoa Butter opting for his A first instead of B on Ozo, which can which has its merits for both sides. As we see the mid treant fight about to erupt here. Who do you
Yeah,
think's gonna come out on top?
that's definitely interesting not deciding to go with the B. Maybe it can do, the farming is quicker with the A, but the team fight early on would be. But here comes the level two. So right on time, level two, ready for this team fight. Everyone's level two besides captains. No one wants to pull the trigger. It looks like Ozo does not get it. It does go over
Nope.
to the team of Pancake.
Ozo tried his best, but he didn't succeed. And we're going to see everybody except for Fortress porting back here. Shell is going to pop that minion candy and keep his wave healthy as Crystal Blackfeather at level 2 has an extremely slow jungle clear. So Cocoa Butter might have gotten that his A first so that he can clear his jungle faster, take advantage of that Crystal Blackfeather. Um, Especially Baron, his wave clear is also extremely slow early game. As we see Ashley getting dove on here, um, he's gonna bite back with a couple shots, but Lazard won that trade here on Baron, but he's got a big wave to clear.
Yeah, he does have a lot of minions stacked up. The minion candies have been released to make the minions a little stronger. Ashley struggling a little. The heal's gonna continue to come through. Elder Treant is being respawned though. We're gonna see maybe another stall and fight over the Elder Treant. I think Cocoa Butter will be able to secure this one. I just have a feeling, but it looks like Shell and Kimi are waiting for their opportunity to strike.
Yep, waiting to pull that trigger as we
Oh,
see.
the lane. We could see someone fall here. So
Oh,
much
Lazard is so
action.
low. He will fall to Ashley. Ashley winning the sustain war as Shell is gonna be forced to rotate up, and as we see Kimi going back into his own jungle, he's, you know, they're probably kicking themselves over that. Contesting the mid treant instead of protecting your laner. That's it's a tough trade, but we've seen Pancake lose the early game both times and come back in mid game to extremely great success, especially as we saw last game.
Yeah, I think Lazard, unfortunately, the mortars just landed a little. Ashley was able to kite them out, and that was really the damage difference there, along with the healing flask basically being popped immediately at the same time. It was definitely just down to auto attacks and who was going to be able to hit the right button at the right time. We do see Coco though going a little aggressive in the jungle here.
We see those huge Ozo bounces, taking Kimi down to about a third health as we see Lazard and Shell forced to rotate down, and we might see another mid treant contest before the 4 minute mark here. As we see Vaguely Insane going to start that one up.
Yeah, they are.
Ah, they're not going
No
to grab
one
it.
gets it. The time has run out, and we do see the jungle intensifies.
Yep, and as the jungle intensifies here, we've got 1-0 Vaguely Insane. We've got about 500 gold, which is really not a whole lot, but Lazard going to get chunked down a little bit, and Ashley is feeling confident, I feel like, in this Ringo. He's confident in his wave clearing. He's confident that he can push Baron backwards when he needs to. And it's really showing here as they're putting a lot of aggression on in this wave clear.
Yeah, we're definitely have to see. Ozo gonna have to rotate up here to try to help him push. Lazar's dropping really low once again, though. There comes a heal on top of Ashley.
Yeah, Black Lotus has been really on point with his roam skills these couple games. We haven't hyped him up as we see Cocoa Butter taking that huge bangerang. We've been hyping him up a lot as he does a ton of burst damage. Actually, King Kimi being forced backwards, but they're gonna switch targets onto Ashley. He's gonna go extremely low and he will fall. Shell and Kimi might get punished, and the healing flask gets popped. He's so low. Cocoa Butter will sustain out, and that's a triple kill for Vaguely Insane.
Cocoa Butter missed the Imperial Sigil, but I believe used the boots just to run up there and get on it last second to get enough healing to survive, and was able to take down Shell and Kimi along with Black Lotus helping him out. So that was definitely a good little exchange for the side of Vaguely Insane. Coco's gonna continue to farm up here. Uh, Aftershock starting to get a little more defense. I can assume the sustain from Coco will be a lot this game. And Lotus opts to go to the Fountain first item this game. We do see Fountain on Shell as well. So I think the next team fight, Fountains will be up. We'll have to see if Blackfeather and Baron are going to be able to stay alive, do enough damage in these team fights. I think that's really crucial. And just here comes a
There
huge
goes the
Hellfire.
Hellfire Brew, and Lazar will jump away, but he's already so low. King Kimi dives to Ashley. He's gonna walk out of the bulwark here as he rose offensive close, but he's gonna be forced back by Ozo. Here comes the Baron ult. King Kimi going so low, he's be forced away by Cocoa Butter. Here comes the Imperial Sigil to heal him back up, and the wave push is coming in. Pancake Sunrise is forced to stay up as their turret's getting pushed here. So is Shell.
Yeah, they're finally focusing on the turret and getting some damage done. We'll have to see if Pancake can stay healthy while they continue to push. It looks like Coco's going to focus on maybe a little jungle rotate and pick up some minions, but they are back for more action.
Yep, here comes the bangerang onto Lazard. He gets stunned up and he's so low. He will drop Cocoa Butter, taking him out. And Shell will also fall, but Cocoa Butter getting shut down. Fountain is popped to keep Ashley alive, to keep up King Kimi. Oh, it's so close. And
The
Black Lotus with the
healing.
kill steal and the healing will make sure that turret goes down at the 7-minute mark.
The healing was massive. Ashley was able to stand on top of the Imperial Sigil, stay healthy in that team fight, and actually win that exchange. So, I mean, we're seeing vaguely, not necessarily pulling away too much, but they definitely are trying to control these team fights as much as possible. We're seeing them get decent damage out while Kimi's, putting out a decent amount of damage with the aftershock. He definitely is going to need to start going for maybe a Dragon's Eye or a depends if he wants to go straight burst and just get that shattered glass. But if Kimi can get a little more tanky, that'll definitely be helpful for that black feather to maybe stay alive a little longer in these team fights.
Here comes the Hellfire Brew, and we're gonna see just Vaguely Insane just walking straight up to this turret. The wave clear is coming in from Ashley as they're just gonna back off for now.
Yeah, I think my game is currently frozen. We could have
Yep.
a rip. Oh, is frozen on your side as well?
It's lagging a bit, but I think we're back to normal. Cocoa
Okay, okay.
Butter, Cocoa Butter is being a little bit aggressive here, taking some damage on Nikimi, and he's gonna get healed up as Attack of the Pack comes down. We see Ashley doing some huge crit damage onto Lazard, but he'll jump away out of range, and the healing from Black Lotus has just been so good as King Kimi falls
Damage.
down. Little Lazard he'll take the fountain on, but oh my gosh, the huge crit damage from Ashley is just too much. Shell gonna have to try to get away, but he won't. That's a triple kill for I Love Ashley. I Love Ashley loves his Ringo as they're gonna probably get another turret and a gold mine off of this.
I love Ashley showing why Ringo is so strong. They just did a double turret dive. Black Lotus was making sure he prioritized where that Imperial Sigil was going to go. They had Fountain and Crucible that whole dive. That just think about that. All Black Lotus was using was his Imperial Sigils. Didn't even have to have the pressure of popping a Fountain. Balanced the aggro. It was just, and it was honestly a perfect dive. They were able to get that triple kill, take a turret, and if Vayne continues the aggression, it's exactly what they need to do. They do not want this Baron to become late game. If this Baron gets late
Oh,
game,
here comes a bangerang. It's gonna get blocked up though. Sorry to cut you off, but Pancake's gonna just fall back here.
no, play by play is greater than color cast. Definitely cut me off. You need to be calling all the shots. I think the reset is definitely important here. Definitely continue to farm up and try to catch up when it comes to uh, gold. Currently, right now, we are at 6,000. It's a little big lead here, a little big lead, if
Yeah,
if if,
just a little bit.
if that makes sense. But yeah, you're gonna see cocoa butter just the broken myth now that the acro bounces are doing tons of damage. Double tyrants on the side of Ashley, they are just looking really strong right now. If Baron can, we see Baron has a sorrow blade. That's it. Not even
Yeah.
another tyrants yet. So the crits aren't even coming through yet. And if we start seeing tyrants monocles come out and the crits come through from Lazar, then maybe these team fights will start going the way of Pancake.
Yeah, he's got enough money to buy one as he ports back, but that's gonna open up the lane for Vaguely to just march straight in as they have been. Black Lotus doing some harass, forcing them behind turret. As here comes Hellfire Brew, just smashes straight onto Lazard. That's a reflex block. He's already spent for the bangerang as he's gonna come in. Cocoa Butter gonna just bounce away, but he goes back in. That huge 600 acro bounces. Here comes a Baron ult. It won't hit anybody, but here comes Pancake back on the dive. They landed a really good Atlas, but the Crucible will keep them alive. Little Lazard gonna have to get Fountain Pop to save him as a Cocoa Butter. No fear, just fight. These huge acro
Wow.
bounces. He's gonna get 2 kills there. And Shell, just lonely Shell, the only remaining member of the team.
How much distance was covered on that acro bounce? That was huge. Right now, Black Lotus, easily the MVP for the team of Vaguely Insane. The Imperial Sigils are on point every time, keeping the Ringo and Coco alive no matter what. Ringo fell so low and then kited back perfectly into that Imperial Sigil to stay alive. So, Vaguely Insane definitely fighting perfectly into their win condition. And Ashley, I don't know who's doing more damage or doing more work right now. These acro bounces are just Ashley kiting away.
Absolutely. Black Lotus, we're not hyping him per se as much as we're doing Cocoa Butter for these plays, but Black Lotus's Imperial Sigils have been what allowing Coco to pop off so much. His healing has just been so good, and he's barely had to use his utility tools because he just hasn't needed to. Ozo has a ton of lifesteal built into his kit already with his Carney Luck perk, and on top of the sigils, just keeping Ashley up so Ashley can just do a ton of damage. It's going everything's going perfectly for Vaguely Insane.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think I'm still keeping my eye on my Baron to figure out as soon as more crit items come through, the stronger the Baron will be. One jump forward and a double auto attack lance. The Eva Harvest actually does come through on Ozo, so the sustain is going to be even greater on Coco. Maybe those Imperial Sigils will be more focused on Ashley now and less on Coco, since Coco maybe will be able to heal up more on his own, but we're getting closer to the 15-minute mark. The base is already starting to be exposed. I really think Vayne is just waiting for that Kraken to help them push. Gonna take a chance here and clear a Crystal Sentry, and the fold is currently theirs. They have total control of it, and Pancake is just waiting for them to make the next move.
Yeah, 10,000 gold difference at the 14-minute mark is, I won't say it's impossible, but it's extremely hard to come back from, especially when your Baron is sitting at 2 items and a lot of wasted money on defense and infusions at 14 minutes. As a Hellfire Brew, just smashes him for a ton of damage. And King Kimi already taken down by that huge acro bounce. Here comes the ult, the bangerang. It's so huge. Lazard is bursted down almost inside his own base. And look, Cocoa Butter was so low, but the healing from Black Lotus, the using his utility in that 600 damage burst heal, he's already healthy and ready for this next fight.
Yeah. We're gonna see Cocoa Butter just continue doing 700, almost 700 burst damage on those acro bounces. That was huge. We're gonna see them back out of this and clear jungle as they do. Kraken will be coming up. We could see Pancake force an engage with Crystal Sentry there, but I don't think they're going to. I really think Vayne just needs to force a fight around Kraken here and get a solid push. And with the amount of damage and then the ability from Ringo to push down turrets so fast, I think one more solid push with a Kraken, Vaguely Insane could have the game in the bag.
Yep, Shell has picked up an aftershock on Fortress in order to do just a little more bit more damage, but it's not really enough, especially because Baron still doesn't have a third item. King Kimi is only sitting on 2 items, and Shell doesn't have any blocks yet, prioritizing an Atlas. So when the Hellfire Brew, as we see Ashley getting
Ashley.
caught
Oh
shopping,
my
and
gosh.
oh no, that was such a bad play. And this fight, as whoa, who needs Ashley when you are having Ozo, that huge damage just sustaining forever, but Black Lotus is going to be the only one alive backing out, and Pancake is going to be the ones taking this turret here, unless.
Don't think the tension bow is worth that buy at the shop. Go home, play it safe. If you 100% do not know where they are, don't be sitting in the shop menu for that long. He could have had a disconnect. I could be roasting him for no reason. But it seemed like he was just shopping and did not realize that the team actually had rotated on top of him. And unfortunately, Coco couldn't do enough amount of damage to survive and to take them down. So the Kraken is actually on the side of Pancake. 16 minutes in, gold lead so far on the advantage of Vaguely, and I still think this Kraken gets maybe one turret, and if Vayne can maybe ace them here, they could push for the win. It's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yep, the Kraken gonna gain 200 gold for Pancake, but it'll gain 500 for Vaguely Insane. So kind of like how we did last game, but reverse. The Kraken push wasn't really, might not have been the smartest idea, as we see, casual 11,000 gold in the lead now for Vaguely Insane, as they're gonna finish up their builds almost, as the 17-minute mark is just upon us here on this end. It's just looking like a stall is really what
Oh
Pancake
yeah.
needs.
Yeah, I think the Kraken was a stall move. Now the Kraken won't be up for a while. They have some time to farm up. Hopefully, just stay safe and not, try to force any fights and let the lane push and continue to maybe get that Baron towards more crit items. Just because while they did lose the total net worth at the end of that last push, maybe getting into later and later game is what they need. Obviously, with the Baron, we could see this Ringo if it does get caught out, not survive as long as he fights. They're going to push here and take another Crystal Sentry relatively fast. I still just do not think we're going to see much action until that Kraken reappears here in the next minute.
Yep, giving the color caster a bit of time here from all the action that's been going on in this game, and we see Ashley is full built at 18 minutes on Ringo. That's pretty darn impressive, as he's 7-2-4. Baron, on the other hand, not so much.
Yeah, unfortunately, or luckily, I guess I should say for Ashley right now, a fortified health. I mean, it works, or the summary husk, excuse me, when it works. But when you have a Baron that's full build in the situation we do not yet, that crit is still massive, and it kind of just chunks right through the slumbering husk. So we'll see if it gets to that point. We are trying to see a party bush, but it doesn't quite work out. We could see actually engage here from Ashley too far forward possibly.
Oof. Here comes the Baron. It'll land onto Ashley, but not a whole lot. Shell getting actually brought down very low here. Kinkimi's going to Rose offensive in. He's going to get that stab. He's getting fountained sustained up. And oh no, it's so bad. Here comes a triple kill for Kinkimi. 19 minutes. Pancake Sunrise All the odds are against them, and they still keep winning team fights.
The fact that they just won that team fight was huge. I think. Okay, so I think Ashley is trying to debate on what he needs to build right now because we just have a sold Slumbering Husk. It did not work in that last team fight. We have a lot of attack items on Coco. Maybe it needs to be a little more defense on that Ozo, a little more tanky front line because. Like you said, the Kimi able to get all the kills there, able to just clean everything up. That was just huge on the side of Pancake. Absolutely massive team fight win. And I don't know. I don't think this is stalling anymore. I think this is their attempt of winning the game.
Oh my gosh, they're 9,000 gold down still at 19 minutes, and Lazard has only just gotten his third item. It's Kimi doing all the damage here, and fighting in a choke point against a CP Blackfeather is not something you want to do, and that's exactly what happened there. As Ashley's going to pick up his Slumbering Husk again, and they're trying their best to take down this Kraken, but Pancake is just diving in. We see Black Lotus dropping that sigil, and Kraken is about half health marching into the base, so they might get one turret out of this, but we see Black Lotus and Ashley getting pretty low. Here comes a Baron ult. It won't land, but the burst heal is enough to bring in Ashley, and Pancake has to back out here. They can't risk it. But oh my gosh, that's going to be another turret. This game is looking closer than
Oh, it doesn't fall.
Oh.
It stays alive. Uh, they almost had a pick on Ashley there, and if they got that pick, they actually could have probably ended that game there with a semi-decent, healthy Kraken and then being up a member. But they play it safe. They decided to back out. Let's just, we won the last two team fights. Let's not just keep doing that and just try to force the next team fight and see if they can play it correctly. Chat, I hope you're still with us because we are 21 minutes into game 3. It is getting more and more intense. I definitely did not think we'd be at this moment, but we have Pancake. They are hanging on. They are still fighting to try to win this series.
Hanging on by the skin of their teeth, indeed. We've got Shell finally has a block. This is something I wanted to point out before that last team fight, and Black Lotus, he's only got a Crucible. Ashley doesn't have a block at all, so that if his Husk gets popped, that's all the defense that he's got. And the on points, the Truth of the Tooth, the basic attacks from Baron, all of those things are going to be doing a lot of damage to him. But if he can manage his positioning well and allow Coco and Black Lotus to tank for him, then he can just kite around the fights and do a lot of damage with his crit. But that's exactly the same thing that Baron wants to do. He wants his front line to tank for him so that he can just stack up and do so much damage in these fights.
Yeah, we see Ashley now decide to go with the tier 3 armor. We've now sold some armor 3 times now. We see Coco decide that he had too much attack, crystal power, and decides to build armor now to try to survive. So we definitely see Vayne rethinking their route here of how to win this game and saying, okay, we need to sustain a little longer. We're starting to get into a sticky situation. We're actually going to see a Kraken call here. This could be extremely risky. We do see Shell rotating down.
All right. This fight right here will determine the game. I feel like I've said it 5 times already, but we're looking just a poke war here. Here comes the bulwark, and King Kimi gonna dodge out of it, popping down a couple on points here. Vision gonna spot out both of these teams. Nobody wanting to pull triggers quite yet. As here comes Hellfire Brew, Kimi taking a lot of damage, maybe a bit of a misplay. Here comes the counter dive from Pancake. The Wolf's going to be taken out, and here comes Bangerang. It won't find anybody, intended for Lazard, but there goes the Portal Bulwark. Lazard taking a lot of damage. He's gonna drop so low, and that's him. He's gonna fall. Ashley will also fall, and it's just who can sustain the jungle war now. King Kimi taking a lot of damage from a Cocoa Butter. He's staying sustained, and here's the huge burst, and that's gonna be a kill onto Kimi. Shell gonna try to stay alive here, but without Ashley, their main attack damage carry, there's not a whole lot that Vaguely Insane can do here.
Yeah, I don't imagine
Oh,
Coco.
here comes a bangerang. Shell, Shell. The fortified health is gonna maybe keep him alive long enough, but he's got to stay 15 seconds still for Lazar to spawn in.
Yeah, I think that will be the kill and the ace. Honestly, that team fight was extremely close. I think that the main difference was Black Lotus having the perfect portal. It jumped right on top of Lazard. He was super uncomfortable on the Baron in that situation. Was everyone was on top of him. He couldn't really jump jets anywhere. He actually jumped jets kind of into even more people. He just couldn't get away. So Black Lotus able to put the pressure on Lazard, not letting him sit back there and put out the damage. And then, like you called it, came down to who could sustain, and the Eva Harvest
Oof,
on the
Kraken
Ozo was
ult just
better.
a bit too early, as Vaguely Insane gonna pick up this Kraken here.
Yeah, we'll have to see. This could be the game-winning push if it's played correctly. We're 25 minutes in. There's a lot of damage on Ringo. There's, Ozo's gonna be able to put a lot of damage with the Atlas now. Finally, 25 minutes in, and we're getting an Atlas to try to maybe counter some of the attack speed from honestly both the Blackfeather and the Baron.
Hey, any progress is good progress, right?
I guess so. You made maybe little mistakes mid game, and let's try to fix them in late game after we've got an insane amount of gold, 56,000 on the side of Vayne,
Maybe
and
a vaguely insane amount, huh?
oh, vaguely insane. Yeah, yeah.
I'm on fire. All right, we see Kimi taking a bit of damage. The Baron ult gonna zone out Ashley, just making sure he can't go anywhere. As Kimi gonna go drop to about half health as Cocoa Butter gets healed up and goes for the bangerang. Kimi's gonna block it with Rose Offensive, but he's dropping so low. Fountain gonna be popped to keep him up.
This
As
could be it.
oh, Lazard is so low. Cocoa Butter
Cocoa
getting
butter.
melted at base, but the huge burst healing is gonna keep him alive. The
They're
Kraken will take
leaving.
down a turret, and they have to focus the Kraken now. As oh no, Keeney drops. He was the main source of damage. As
GG.
that looks like GG. Huge crit coming out of Ashley. Good game, well played. 3 marathon matches, and Pancake Sunrise. They've got to feel good about this one.
Yeah, they were so close to taking the series. They definitely, played. And I would say in all three games they were definitely down. And when that mid game came, they started playing better and better, starting getting the amount of damage and playing into their win conditions. But vaguely insane. They were definitely insane tonight, and and definitely gave us an insane series.
Yep, it may be late at night, but breakfast was served for Pancake Sunrise as it was extremely good team fights. Still, even late into the game, they kept their composure. They kept fighting after it seemed like the fight was already lost. And um, you know, nothing more to say. I feel like those matches spoke for themselves here. Pancake Sunrise, you know, Kimi, I'm sorry for bashing you on Alpha. You more than earned your spot in my heart.
Yeah, GG to both teams.